Imagine walking through the ruins of a city that once thrived with life. Markets buzzing, temples filled with chants, streets alive with children, merchants, and rulers. Now, all that remains are broken walls, scattered artifacts, and silence. Entire civilizations that once shaped the world have vanished, leaving behind questions instead of answers. Some collapsed under the weight of war, others fell to natural disasters, and some disappeared so mysteriously that we are still left guessing. These civilizations prove that human achievement, no matter how great, can be fragile. Today, we uncover the mysteries of 11 civilizations that disappeared without a trace. The Indus Valley civilization, which flourished between 2600 and 1900 BCE, remains one of the world's earliest and most sophisticated urban cultures. Spread across modern-day Pakistan and northwest India, its great cities, Mohenjo-Daro and Rapa, were marvels of planning. Streets followed perfect grids, drainage systems carried waste away, and standardized bricks ensured uniform construction. Public baths suggest ritual cleanliness, while workshops produce beads, pottery, and textiles, hinting at a thriving economy. Their seals, engraved with animals and mysterious symbols, show evidence of trade as far as Mesopotamia. Unlike other ancient powers, they built no massive palaces or pyramids, suggesting a unique form of social equality. But around 1900 BCE, the civilization declined. Rivers shifted course, turning fertile lands into barren plains. Climate change brought droughts, crippling agriculture. Some theorize disease outbreaks spread through crowded cities. The olmecs, who thrived in southern Mexico from around 1200 to 400 BCE, are remembered as the mother culture of Mesoamerica. Their colossal stone heads, some weighing 20 tons, stand as silent guardians of their past, each with distinct features believed to represent rulers or warriors. These masterpieces show extraordinary skill in quarrying and transport, even without wheels or beasts of burden. The olmecs developed ceremonial centers, played the earliest known ball games, and established complex religious systems centered on jaguar deities. Evidence suggests they practiced ritual sacrifices, shaped calendars, and even experimented with early writing. Their agricultural base, maize, beans, and squash, allowed cities like San Lorenzo and La Venta to flourish. Yet, by 400 BCE, their great centers were abandoned. Archaeologists suggest floods from shifting rivers may have destroyed fertile lands, forcing people to leave. Others point to internal conflict or political collapse. In the deserts of Jordan, the Nabateans built a kingdom unlike any other. Their capital, Petra, carved directly into rose-red cliffs, is one of the most breathtaking wonders of the ancient world. Temples, tombs, theaters, and palaces were cut into stone with precision that still amazes modern engineers. Their genius lay not just in architecture but in survival. They engineered water channels, cisterns, and dams that turned arid desert into fertile trade hubs. Petra became a center of wealth, linking Arabia, Egypt, and the Mediterranean through caravans carrying incense, spices, and silk. For centuries, their prosperity made them powerful. But by the 4th century CE, the Nabateans began to fade. Rome annexed their lands, shifting trade routes bypassed Petra, and devastating earthquakes damaged their city. Slowly, the Nabateans lost their independence and were absorbed into larger cultures. Their language and identity dissolved, leaving only stone monuments behind. The Mycenaeans, who flourished in Greece between 1600 and 1200 BCE, were warriors, builders, and storytellers. They constructed massive citadels like Mycenaean Tiryns, with walls so colossal they were later said to be built by giants. Their palaces were centers of administration, their linear B-tablets offering glimpses of taxation, trade, and governance. They buried their rulers in shaft graves filled with gold masks, weapons, and treasures, proving their wealth and status. The Mycenaeans traded widely, connecting with Egypt, Anatolia, and the Near East. Their legends inspired Homer's Iliad and Odyssey, stories of kings, heroes, and wars like the Trojan conflict. But around 1200 BCE, disaster struck. Palaces were burned, writing disappeared, and trade collapsed. Theories abound: invasions by the mysterious sea peoples, earthquakes destroying cities, famine from prolonged droughts, or internal rebellions. Greece entered centuries of decline, the Dark Ages, where knowledge and literacy nearly vanished. The ancestral Puebloans, often called the Anasazi, created extraordinary stone cities in the deserts of the American Southwest between 900 and 1300 CE. Their cliff dwellings at Mesa Verde cling dramatically to canyon walls, while Chaco Canyon's massive complexes reveal a society capable of planning on a grand scale. Some settlements had hundreds of rooms, kivas for ceremonies, and astronomical alignments that marked solstices and lunar cycles. They grew corn, beans, and squash on harsh land, irrigating with skill and trading turquoise, pottery, and shells across thousands of miles. Roads radiating out from Chaco suggest regional control and unity. Yet, by the late 1200s, their great settlements were abandoned. Prolonged drought drained resources, crops failed, and growing populations strained fragile ecosystems. Archaeological evidence shows signs of violence and defensive structures, suggesting conflict and possibly even social breakdown. But no single cause explains why entire communities vanished. Today, their descendants survive among Pueblo tribes such as the Hopi and Zuni, preserving fragments of their traditions. The Khmer Empire, based at Angkor in Cambodia, was one of the most powerful empires in medieval Asia, dominating from the 9th to 15th centuries. At its height, Angkor was among the largest urban centers on Earth, housing nearly 1 million people in a time when London had fewer than 50,000. Its crowning jewel, Angkor Wat, remains the largest religious monument in the world, a vast temple complex dedicated first to Hindu gods, then later to Buddhism. But Angkor was more than temples. It was a masterpiece of water engineering. The Khmers built enormous reservoirs and canals, harnessing rivers to irrigate rice fields and feed their immense population. Their culture thrived with art, inscriptions, and architecture that blended faith and politics into a unified vision. Yet, by the 1400s, Angkor declined. A series of wars with neighboring Siam weakened its power, while cycles of droughts and floods revealed the fragility of its water system. Trade shifted toward coastal ports, bypassing inland cities. Slowly, Angkor emptied, and the jungle reclaimed its stones. The Maya civilization, spanning Mexico, Guatemala, and Honduras, created one of the most sophisticated cultures of the ancient Americas. They built massive stone pyramids, developed a complex writing system, and made astonishing advances in mathematics and astronomy. Their calendars predicted celestial events with remarkable precision, and their art and rituals revealed a society rich in meaning. Cities like Tikal, Palenque, and Copan were centers of politics, trade, and religion. Yet by the 9th century CE, many of these great cities were abandoned. Severe droughts, confirmed by climate studies, struck during this time. Deforestation and overfarming may have weakened their land. Warfare between rival city-states drained resources and fractured unity. Starvation, disease, and rebellion may have finished the collapse. The Maya people themselves did not vanish. Their descendants live today on a remote island in the Pacific. The Rapa Nui civilization of Easter Island created a culture as mysterious as it was ambitious. Between the 13th and 16th centuries, they carved and transported massive stone statues known as moai, some standing over 30 feet tall. These figures represented ancestors, leaders, and spiritual guardians, reflecting a deep cultural and religious life. Building and moving them required incredible organization, engineering, and manpower, but carving thousands of statues demanded resources. Over time, deforestation and overuse of land crippled the island's environment. Crops failed, and competition among clans led to conflict. When Europeans arrived in the 18th century, the society was already weakened, and later diseases and slave raids devastated the population further. Today, the moai still stand, their silent faces gazing across the island like watchful ancestors.